Good day, awesome YouTubers. It is Lilyman16 here again with another Dragon Ball Super discussion video today. And with the Future Trunks arc over, I will go ahead and take pretty much my final closing thoughts and really a review of this entire arc so far and all of its glory. Now, the Future Trunks arc, it is 20 episodes long. I believe it is the longest of all the Dragon Ball Super arcs so far, because they have consisted of the Battle of Gods 14 episodes, Resurrection F around 18, I believe, something like that. Universe 6 lasting not quite that long, and of course the Future Trunks arc with 20 episodes. It is the longest arc, and of course I see many of the comments saying, you know, it really is the best arc of Dragon Ball Super, and I do believe that is the case. However, there are still some problems. It is obviously not such, you know, it's not obviously not as good as Dragon Ball Z, because obviously, well, there's nostalgia involved, and nostalgia, well, that gets everyone riled up, you know what I mean? But overall, this arc was great. I want to talk about the few things I liked and few things I didn't like about this arc. First, I'm going to go over the things that I liked, and then I'm going to go ahead and talk about the ones I didn't like. The premise of the whole Goku Black thing, you know, when I first saw Goku Black as a villain, I initially thought that Goku Black was going to be way too fan servicey, and I never really enjoyed the idea of having a sort of evil Goku. I never really thought that was a good idea to begin with. But I was completely wrong. The execution was way better than I thought, and thank goodness it was not just an evil version of Goku. No, it's something completely different, which it caught me off surprise. It really caught me off guard of what Toriyama did here. He created essentially a villain that's, you know, it looks like Goku, acts like Goku and all that stuff, but he's not Goku. He's pretty much the opposite side of Goku, because obviously it's Zamasu. The second thing I want to talk about is really the main villain of this arc. I mean, Zamasu is such an interesting villain. I think that he deserves to be in the top spot of at least one of the greatest Dragon Ball villains. And why I say that is because Zamasu gave us an actual legit backstory. It's really both. Not only a backstory, but also an actual motive. Whether as all the other villains, especially the movie villains, I thought were pretty bland, and you know they really didn't have any other purpose just to, you know, other than rule the universe and all that kind of good stuff. But here with Zamasu, he really gave us he justified his ways of terrorizing the universe, because it's justified. He thinks, you know, that mortals, Ningen specifically, are all sinners and they must perish in order to make the universe a more beautiful place. And I thought that was a cool concept by Toriyama. You know, it goes back to the whole real life thing about, you know, how humans and how mortals and all that kind of stuff are flawed, and you know how the gods have more authority. Although I really did like some of the morals behind Trunks and everyone saying that, you know, Goku, Black, Zamasu, and the gods are so arrogant. You know, how could they judge mortals like that if they're arrogant themselves? And I thought that was a really cool concept. Another thing I liked about this arc is, well, the fights. But other than that, I really did like the premise of, obviously, Trunks coming back. Yeah, it is kind of fan servicey for Trunks to be coming back, especially, you know, in this day and age. Everyone wants to see Trunks again, and again, a cool way. But man, I really gotta say, this arc was very dark. I mean, if you go back and look at the other arcs of Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, it really does give you a sense of really despair in this arc, because at the end of the arc we know that Future Trunks' timeline is destroyed. I mean, it's completely wiped out, and it really got me thinking, you know, back in the arcs of Dragon Ball Z, where especially in the Jinzo Ningen, or artificial human cell arc, Future Trunks, yes, he did have a really tragic backstory, but if you think about it, in the end, he lost everything. He could not save the future. That's really depressing. I really did think they would go in this kind of route for Dragon Ball. I know that Future Trunks had a pretty bad time before, but this time, whoa, man, it's really bad. I mean, but through thick and thin, Future Trunks is a really great character, and to bring him back was really good too. I really enjoyed his return, but I do hope that he does not return. Maybe he'll make a cameo or something. I actually don't think he'll make a return later on. Now moving on to some of the things I did not like or did not enjoy. Now, when I'm talking about things that I did not enjoy, I don't necessarily mean they're terrible, but I don't know, it's kind of conflicting with me. And what I mean by this is, I mean the whole thing with episodes 66 and 67. You guys know that those two episodes are rushed to hell. I mean, I don't know why Toei decided to cap it off at 20 episodes. They should have made it at least to 25 or more longer, because obviously, the whole thing with Vegito and the whole thing with the defeat of Zamasu, it happened so quickly that it's almost like there was a really good build up to the arc with all the times they went back into the future, and which I'm going to get into later, but they went back and forth so many times throughout the timelines, and in the end it was just so rushed. I really did not enjoy that, but I did like, or I didn't really necessarily like, but I really have come to accept the ending of this arc. I know a lot of people are conflicted about it. It's a two-sided thing, where one part of the fandom really likes it, and either that or the other part of the fandom really, really hates it. I've come to accept the ending. I really think it's not the best, but it's a good idea to have, well, it's not really a good idea, but Trunks losing everything in the end was really a twist that I didn't see coming. I thought that Zeno-sama would come in there and save the whole future, not destroy it. So that was really sad and emotional ending. I really liked that part. Moving on to some other things that I didn't like. I didn't like the whole Mafuba ceiling thing. Reason why I say that is because in the end it was teased. It was teased like they're going to use that to defeat the main villain. But in the end, it was useless because, okay, Goku forgot the seal. So, yeah, that wasn't a great idea in my mind. But, the whole Mafuba thing, it brought back a sense of Dragon Ball, but then it disappointed. That's what I'm saying about that whole thing. Another thing I didn't like is Goku's, not really stupidity, because he's not, yeah, he is kind of stupid, but that's how he's supposed to be. He's always been a country bumpkin, and that's really how he's always been in the previous arcs of not only Dragon Ball Z, but also Dragon Ball, if you watched him when he was a child. But, I felt in this arc that Goku and everyone was a little bit too dumb. I mean, yeah, in the Cell arc, it was like that too, but in the Cell arc, it was different, because in the Cell arc, we had Vegeta and Krillin. They had motives to where, they didn't want to defeat the main villain. Krillin obviously with Android 18, and Vegeta because of his pride. Here in this arc, we have it to where everyone is kind of like just plain out stupid for not, remembering things correctly. I really didn't like that portion of it, but overall, I have to say this arc was a really good arc. I did like the tone, especially with Future Mai, Future Bulma, Future Bulma dying in the first episode. Wow, that was dark. The whole ending, of course, and just the whole premise of this arc was really a good change to the previous arcs. Universe 6 was a light and kind of happy arc, somewhat in the between there. So is the Battle of Gods. I mean, everything before it, we didn't have a real main villain, and that's what Dragon Ball Super lacked, and that's what Dragon Ball Super had in this arc. I really did enjoy that. But let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comments below. Overall, the best arc of Super so far is the Future Trunks arc. I cannot wait for the next arc. I'm hearing spoilers that we're going to get something to do with Hit. So, again, I will make reviews on that. And yeah, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this arc. And did you like it? Did you didn't like it? What could there been things that could have been improved? Let me know. But thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you guys later. Stay awesome, everybody, and have a good one.